National Security Advisor and U.S. Army veteran Michael Waltz joins us now. Michael, it's good to see you, brother. Unfortunately, it's under these circumstances. Your top-line thoughts on this crash? I know as a door kicker, you have been in many of these aircrafts before. How does something like this happen?
Yeah, thanks, Lawrence. Look, this is a terrible tragedy. I know I can speak for the president and that our heart is broken. But at this point, we are all hands on deck. And I can tell you that he was updated throughout the night. As you know, Secretary Duffy was on the scene. NTSB was on the scene. We spoke with Mayor Bowser. I spoke with Governor Youngkin. This is, again, all hands on deck, from the Park Service to the Coast Guard to local, both state and local responders, the airport recovery services. And I've also spoken with the military. And to answer your question, Lawrence, this was a routine training flight. As you know, a Blackhawk typically has 2 pilots. In this case, it was, and I can tell you it was an officer and a warrant officer. They tend to have a lot of experience. And then you have an enlisted crew chief in the back. So we'll let the investigation unfold as what happened. But you know, our hearts go out to the families. American Airlines and their CEO has also been in touch for all of those notifications. And then, you know, finally, God bless those Coast Guardsmen and those rescuers, those park police that are down in those frigid waters, you know, making sure that we don't have, they're doing everything they can to make sure we don't have a fuel spillage, and they've recovered now over 30 bodies.
Yeah, and Michael, what adds to the calculus regarding trying to figure out what happened, you know, this airplane, this American Airlines Eagle flight from Wichita was coming in over the water, which at night it's dark. You don't really see how far up you are. You can see the lights in the distance, and it looks like the chopper just came in from the side. I don't imagine there is any spot on Earth that is going to have so many records of what went on in the sky before that, because everything is being tracked. Given the fact that you're at the White House and they've got all sorts of sensors to see if anything's flying at the White House. And it's the same thing down there by where the crash occurred. It's close to the Pentagon. So many sensitive sites, so much. There's going to be a gigantic digital trail.
I think there will be, although, you know, pulling all of that together may take a little bit of time, because it is various agencies that are involved. But, you know, Brian, one of the questions, Steve, one of the questions that I have is, you know, were the pilots under night vision? Were they not? You know, those are things that the investigators will have to, you know, we'll have to determine. And you know, at this point, we are on monitoring. We are making sure everyone has the resources. I sent one of my senior staff from the National Security Council to the DC Emergency Operations Center to make sure those local, state, and federal resources are all integrated and are coordinating and doing the best we can to recover this site. About 4 a.m. this morning, unfortunately, we transitioned from response to recovery.
Oh, wow. Does that mean everyone?
That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like at this point.
Do you know how long it will take to find out what happened? I know they've recovered one of the black boxes, at least. That's what Lucas was saying. He's there on the ground. How long would it take?
I don't have a direct, you know, or definitive timeline at this point. Again, Secretary Duffy is on the ground. NTSB is got on the ground very quickly. Right. And they will unpack all of this, from the digital footprint, the radar track, what we know from GPS movements, exactly what the Blackhawk pilots were saying, doing, and seeing, and their flight trajectory. Obviously, there's a huge piece here with the air traffic controller and what they saw in those last moments and the instructions that they gave. So we'll pull all of those together from those various agencies. Part of our job here is to coordinate all of that, and then to keep both the president, the vice president, and all of the senior folks in the administration informed.
Just so people know what the Blackhawk looks like, it's got 4 blades, twin engines, medium lift utility military helicopter. It's a modified version developed for the U.S. Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. It carries 15 people, including 2 pilots, 2 crew chiefs, and 2 rescue specialists. 3 U.S. Army soldiers were on board during the crash. Now, right away, Michael, people are looking at this and saying, Sean Duffy had the job for a couple hours. Now he's on the scene with a windbreaker on, and he's got to assess it. And then you have an OMB director who can't even get a vote, who would have certainly helped with that executive order 2 days ago. And wouldn't it be great to have a DNI in place ahead of time? You just now got a Secretary of Defense. He, 48 hours on the job, is offering out statements and procedures. There's got to be more of an urgency in the Senate to get your people confirmed. How do you do that?
Yep, Brian, so many people are brand new in the job, but they also bring so much experience to these jobs. And as you saw last night, nobody is sitting back. We're leaning forward in the saddle and getting right there on the scene, showing leadership, showing determination to get to the bottom of what happened. But to your point, yes, the president needs all of his cabinet officials. He needs all his players on the field. I can tell you from my perspective, with what's going on in the Middle East, the wars we're going to stop in Ukraine, Russia, the movement on the southern border and taking on the cartels. I need a director of national intelligence like yesterday. But we're going to get them through. We're looking forward to seeing Kash Patel as the next director of the FBI, Tulsi Gabbard as the next director of national intelligence. I will be out at the CIA today with new director Radcliffe, but as a former DNI, yes, a few days on the job, but years and decades of experience that we're bringing to it. We're hitting the ground running, and the president is all gas, no brakes right now.
Yeah.
So
we've noticed.
So, Michael, you don't think that these hearings are going to be, because of the tragedy that just took place, you don't think they're going to be delayed as a result of that?
Let me interrupt.
I'm sorry about that.
Here's the mayor of Washington, D.C. Muriel Bowser is about to have a press.
Thanks, Michael.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.